Hello everyone, welcome to the 101% podcast where we talk about mindset, motivation, discipline, how to always push yourself, how to become a beast and how to defeat struggle. This podcast will help you to get a better life, that's 101% for sure. I'm your host Joakim and together with me is the co-host and my sister Annika. Welcome to this podcast. In today's episode we will talk about the power of the mind and how you can control yours to become the beast you want to be. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Let's get started.
Hello, Joakim. How is life?
Life is great. Working, training, a little bit family time. That's days.
That is awesome.
How about you? What have you done today?
Yes, thank you. It's been a good day. I've been training and recovering a bit. I'm supposed to fight tomorrow, so today has been an easy day, just a slow session, and then I'm preparing mentally for tomorrow's upcoming fight, hopefully. There's been quite a few cancellations lately, so I haven't fought in 4 months, so now I'm very eager to step back into the cage.
Yeah, I hope you will get this fight. It's having good now with fight and finally MMA fight. That's having great.
Thank you. I really hope so. It will be my first MMA fight here in Thailand, so I really hope it will go through, but it's not confirmed yet. So we'll just see what doors will open.
Yeah, a lot of tension. Yeah, you never know, will it be the fight or will it not be? But you're always in shape and you're always ready, so this will be good.
It will be good for sure. And it's a very exciting time to just be working mentally, to prepare and to spend a lot of time alone and talking to my husband and talking to you about the mindset. So it is very motivating days.
Great to hear.
But how are you working with your mindset these days? How are you able to control your focus? Because I know there's been a lot of changes in your time, what you can spend your time on now that you don't have a job to go to. So how are you able to prioritize smart?
I'm kind with everyone else, but I'm very hard with myself. I push myself very hard. So basically, I work from my wake up till I go sleep every day, and little bit break between where I spend some time with my daughter, and I go training boxing and kickboxing. So that's the most of my day. Same every day now.
Because that's what I've noticed. You work extremely hard and there is no slacking, not at all. You go all into this. And I find it very inspiring because I think many people that would have the amount of freedom that you have would slack of natural reasons, but you go in 101 miles per hour. Like there's no slacking with you.
That's right. I usually go hard, but this time I go even harder than I ever have done before. Because I have to succeed in this one. So I have to put in as so much work as I can. I have to work very hard, but also very smart. You need both of them.
Right, for sure. And I hear that you put a lot of pressure on yourself, that you have to succeed in this, you have to put in the right amount of work, but also being smart about it so you don't burn out, as we've been talking about in the previous episodes. And I think that is a great way to do it. And that is exactly what we're going to talk about today as well. The power of the mind, how you tell yourself the things that will help you. And the reason why we're going to talk about this topic is because it is decisive for whether you will be successful or not. The way you are able to control your mind, because it has so much power over you.
Absolutely. Actually, mind is the only thing in the world you can control. So
Right.
it's important to train yourself to control your mind. The brain is what makes us the most intelligent creature on the planet. What a gift. It is important to program it the right way. It can either make you or break you. You decide.
That is so true. And I think it's so important what we decide to fuel our minds with then. The inner talk and what you read, what you listen to, who has the power to give you their opinions, because all of these things will also try to occupy your mind and control your mind. So who will you let into your life in that way? And one of the things we're going to talk about today is visualization, because that is a superpower. You and me have been talking about this for many years and have been fascinated over and over again about what visualization actually can do for us.
Yeah, that's right. It can actually give us superpower because you feel it and think became so real, and you connect emotion to it, and it became very strong.
And it is just means to create an image, and you can picture yourself extremely clearly before you do a performance. And as you say, it is very important to connect the emotions to it and see it very vividly. If you're having an oral presentation or you have a fight or you have something, and you go deep into your mind and you prepare for it and you see it over and over and over again, it isn't hard to go there and do it
Absolutely.
because you've done it already.
Absolutely. It's more easier, yeah. Visualization will make you believe and achieve. It will create a positive self-image and prepare you for what you will do. It will make success much more available. Your mind can tell the difference between reality and dream, between what you visualize is true and what is really true. Traditional, irrational brain will know the difference, but the subconscious mind will not.
And that is extremely fascinating what you say there, because when the mind will not know the difference, then you can start believing anything you tell yourself. And when you have a goal, a dream that you're working for every single day, it is very important to fuel your mind with positive self talk, visualization, and an extreme convincing that you will achieve it.
Absolutely. You have to really see it clear in your brain. Then you have so much more possibility to achieve it.
Definitely. And I think that I have visualized a lot before my fights. And way back, someone told me that you also need to visualize the unexpected, because I visualize me going in, throwing that combo, the knockouts, the this and this. And he was like, but what if you get punched in the liver? Or what if she catch you with a really good elbow? You're almost knocked out. What do you think to yourself? And this has been a game changer to me, because I think visualization is a superpower, as we talk about. And then you need to prepare for everything, prepare for your success, but also prepare for the unexpected. And you were saying that you put a lot of pressure on yourself to succeed in your business. And pressure is a privilege. It is a very good thing that you have something to wake up to every day. You have pressure, but how do you control it so it doesn't make it difficult for you? It has to fuel you, but it has to help you. So the pressure is not supposed to scare us, but it's supposed to help us and fuel us in a good way. And we need to prepare for that as well. What is the pressure when you go into the ring and there's so many people watching and your coach is there and you're down on points? That is a big pressure. How do you deal with it? How do you change your pattern? How do you score more points?
Absolutely. You have to turn it around. So pressure became positive pressure, and it's a lot of pressure on me now about this business. But I just try to turn it around and tell myself this is very exciting. We are building something. We have learned so much. We are creating something, creating the future for ourselves, and put a lot of valuable things out. So hopefully it will help a lot of people. So it's very exciting to do this and to be on this journey. Yeah? And then I get more excited, and then it take away the pressure a little bit, and it make it more fun. Then I can enjoy it more. Yeah. So I just have to have the right mindset about it.
That is awesome. And how do you visualize? I've been talking a little bit about how I do it, or the fact that I do it before my fights. I think for my sake, a lot of things happen. As soon as I get a fight camp, my mind works better than when I'm not in fight camp, because I take everything to the extreme with like everything I eat, how I train. And I remember when I was living in Norway, fight camp was my favorite time of the year because it's so extreme. That is the 101%, you know? So I love it. And also, it's the time where I feel closest to the winning part of myself. Because when I'm not in fight camp, I doubt a lot, like, am I good enough? And shall I sign up for this fight? And what do I need to work on? These are my weaknesses. This is my focus now. But as soon as that fight is on, then my mind kind of just like flips, because I don't have time to think about fear or do I want to do this. Then it's on, it's decided. Then I start thinking very positive and visualize my success, visualize everything. And I think a lot about it all the time when I walk to the gym, when I go home, when I sit alone before I sleep, just hours in my own mind preparing for this. But I was curious to hear more about how do you visualize, either like in your business or if you have goals. You have had a lot of goals in your training, in your kickboxing. How do you visualize for that? Or in your everyday life, if you're going to have a conversation that maybe is uncomfortable or very important, how do you visualize before these things?
Between you and me, I can tell you here, I visualize a lot of the future life I'm gonna have. Yeah. Often used to sit down in quiet. Can also do it when I'm training or drive car or something. But the best if I sit down for myself in quiet, and sometimes I have my eyes open, sometimes I have my eyes closed, and I just see my future life, how it is, and I try to feel it also. For example, though, in the future I would like to own many apartments. That's also one of my plan. I see I own some apartment there, and I have a nice one there, and I see that me and my daughter live in Thailand. And I try to feel the life we are living. See that we have enjoy. We have a very funny and good life. Train together, do a lot of good things together. I see that we travel a lot around the world. I just imagine we're sitting in the plane, we talk, we do like this, and we stay in that city and do this. And I try to feel it, and I create picture. Yeah, I create picture inside my head, and I get excited, and I feel some emotion. Yeah, so I connect the emotion to it, and then it became real, and I do it for a while, and it feels so real, and it became so strong. So that's give you superpower. I'm not so very good to visualize. I'm okay, yeah, but Annika is much better, and I try to work about this one also because I want to become better and better. I see that when I do this, and if I do other things, and I just start to think about this one again, you get the emotion and the power. Yeah, so it's a superpower. So I can recommend everyone to look inside too, and not just do it for 5 minutes and say this not work for me, but just do it and do it more and more, and look some YouTube videos about it, and try to feel it, and it's an amazing tool. So, but I would like to hear more about how you visualize, Annika, because you is very good about this one.
So for me, it's just a lot about, it's very consuming. Like when I'm in camp, it's all I think about, the fight, the combos. I think a lot like, how will I think? And in the last fights that I've had, especially the last 4 fights after I came to Thailand, because my last fight in Norway, I won. And then it kind of switched my mentality. It was my first victory. So I switched my mentality and I started thinking like, but I can win. I am a winner. And that was very important beginning for me into the rest of my career. So when I came to Thailand, I was going to fight professional Muay Thai for the first time, and I was very worried. But I was just like, okay, but either I do this and I go all in, or I don't do it at all. Like I read this quote that says, "Don't bark if you can't bite," and that has really impacted me because, like, why do I fight if I'm not 100% convinced that I will win? Like, then you don't enter that cage because someone will try to knock you out. Someone will try to make you pass out or cut your face open, or like, it's not a joke. It is kill or be killed. So if I'm not going in there to kill, I shouldn't be there in the first place. So I started taking this really serious. This is my career, and I started making it very black and white. So as I mentioned, when I'm not in camp, I have doubts and I have fear and everything. But when I'm in camp, I only fuel myself with positive thoughts, and it's very consuming. I think about it all the time. And there's actually a story I would like to tell. My yoga coach back home at Evolve, her name is Marit, and she is such an amazing soul. And she is very inspiring with her mindset. And there was a long period of time where I was just struggling with motivation. Like it was a lot going on outside of the training mats, that was affecting me a lot. And my focus wasn't really at my career. So I struggled a lot with motivation and purpose. And she was like telling me that she was taking this education in mental coaching and she wanted to do a session with me just to help out, to find that purpose again. So she showed up of her own time, helping me, guiding me through this visualization process. And I don't remember exactly what her education is called, but what we did was that she kind of interviewed me, like, what is your purpose? What is important to you? What are your struggles? What are you struggling with now that make you have bad motivation? And so we wrote one word on a piece of paper and left it on the floor, and another word on another piece of paper. And it was very personal, meaning like it was about my situation. This is the struggles. This is how I feel. And then I was going to close my eyes and step on the paper. And I was going to tell her exactly how I felt. And as soon as my mind started going off in other places, I'll go off. Because the piece of paper was a sacred place where you were visualizing very vividly and clearly. So as soon as it was not so good, I went off. And then I went to the next paper, and I was going to tell her what I could see, what I could hear, and off. So this was a really strong and powerful experience. Like, I've never experienced anything as strong as this in my mind. And so we go back and forth through these papers, through my struggles and through my path in life. And the final paper, it says UFC belt, because that is my goal. So I close my eyes and I step on this and I tell her, what do I see? What do I hear? What do I feel? And like, I can't stop smiling when I'm just telling you this, because it was so powerful. And to be honest with you, it was so powerful that I could even feel the weight of the UFC belt around my waist. Like, I get goosebumps just by telling you guys this, but this was such a powerful experience. And the visualization after this point has been revolutionary, because that is how strong you need to create your picture, is to really dig deep into how does it make you feel. What do you see? It smells like maybe sweat. You have just gone several rounds in the octagon. You're there with Joe Rogan. Like, who are there? What do you feel like? I think as clearly as you can create it, the better it is. The more vivid the picture, the better.
That's a great. I have not come so far yet, but I will try to get the same experience one day too, because it feels like it is so strong. When you even can feel the belt, then it has to be amazing strong.
Definitely. And that is for sure a superpower, and you will get there for sure. It's all about practicing. And I think that I've experienced a lot of success with it in my career, going into fights, visualizing a lot in my preparation. And then, of course, I have experienced failures when I haven't visualized. I just haven't been prepared for this and this, you know? And there was a fight here, my second fight it was. I was almost knocked down. I was brawling, meaning like I kind of dropped my guard and I went all in. I had her up against the corner of the ring and I just went at it. I was gonna knock her out. So I was just like punching all I could. And that left my cheek very open. So she stepped in with a spinning elbow and I nearly dropped, you know. I don't remember anything after that point until the ref stands with 7 fingers right in front of my eyes. And I think to myself, like, damn, he's been counting on me. Like, giving me the 10 count, it's 3 seconds and then I lose.
What is
and I was,
this wrong with him? Why him counting on you? The hell is wrong with him?
that is so true. I could almost be offended. But I was out of it, completely out of it. And then I just remember him showing me 7 fingers and I was like, I'm fine, I'm okay. And I was a bit like irritated because I was stressed that he was going to stop the fight. And then we go in and we continue. And then luckily it was a break. So I get some time and I was not prepared for this, you know. I hadn't visualized that well before that fight. Like, what will happen if I fail? What will happen if I get caught off guard? So then I have a minute break and I don't remember anything. I don't remember what my coach said to me or anything. But then the bell rings again and we're in for the final round. And then I was just like, okay, reset. Now I need to reset because I haven't prepared for this failure, but I have prepared for the success. So now reset, go in there and make damage, like give it your all, because I don't even remember anything from the fight. Like I was very out of it. So after that, I've learned that I need to prepare for failures too. Like, what happens if you're caught off guard? Like, nothing goes as you planned. What happens then? How does it change for you? If you have planned everything to the smallest details, outer factors can still impact your plan. What do you do then? So I think it's been some great lessons, and I still have a long way to go, but it's an exciting journey for sure.
You have a very strong chin, yeah. I never seen anyone who can knock you out, yeah. So your chin is very good and you're very tough, yeah. So you need a heavyweight UFC champion if someone gonna knock you out.
Thank you for that. I really hope that it never happens. That is one of the fears that I have, of course, that I have been thinking about when I'm not in camp. Like, fight business is a brutal business and things can happen. I don't know how many times I've seen my teammates or fighters been knocked out, and it's not fun, but it's a part of fighting. Like, everything can happen, it's brutal, and all creds to everyone for entering the ring. You need to prepare as much as you can, as good as you can, and you are responsible to, as they say, the ref always say this before a fight, protect yourself at all times. That is your responsibility. And we're gonna dig a little bit more into this with visualization and controlling your own mind, because I am a person that is very efficient. So I don't read many books, but I read about many books. And I listen to a lot of podcasts and I look at many YouTube videos, but very rarely I have the time to sit down and read a full book. But this book, With Winning in Mind, written by Lenny Basham, is a book that often comes up when I'm looking into the field of mindset and controlling your own mind. And he lost in the Olympics. So he placed second and he won the silver medal. And this really upset him. And he was like, okay, I will do everything I can to take that gold medal the next time. But he couldn't really find a course or information that satisfied his needs. So he went deep into the field himself and investigated this and wrote a book and has really created a great system, a mental system, who will speed up the process of getting to a winner's circle. For the past 33 years, he has been teaching this system, the mental management, to Olympians and business owners and to the FBI and the US Navy SEALs and you name it. So this guy's words is a really great source of knowledge. So for his own career, within the next 6 years after creating this system, he dominated in his sport and he won 22 world individual and team titles. He set 4 world records and he won the Olympic gold medals in 1976. So what he says is that it is impossible to picture winning and losing at the same time. You are either picturing something that will help you or something that will hurt you. And this paint the picture of how black and white this actually is. As I said, there's no time for doubt in a camp. You can doubt before camp, but not in camp. Then it's only winning in my mind. And he talks about the power of creating this picture in our minds. He also stressed the importance of reinforcing this, which means like making it stronger. So when you reinforce a positive behavior, you increase the likelihood of that behavior happening again. And on the other side of this, negative reinforcement is complaining. So like if you miss a shot and you're angry and you complain about it, that isn't good. Don't waste your time on it. If you had a bad day at work and you come home and you complain about it to your spouse, you are reinforcing this negative thing. And it is a waste of time, so don't do it. So only fill your thoughts with the best performances, and that will make you successful. So he paints this picture very black and white. Only think about your success, never your failure. And also make this stronger about reinforcing it in your life, meaning like connecting it to your identity. When you do a good thing, you hit a clean combo, you say to yourself, this is like me, this is me. Like this positive mindset, this positive inner self-talk is very important here. So that is the mental rehearsal and reinforcement in a positive way that he talks about in this system. He has many great YouTube videos and lectures and this book, and this has been proven to create tremendous success. So this is something I've used a lot in my career. And he also says that you can imagine far more than you currently can achieve if you consistently rehearse what you want to achieve. What you imagine can become reality. And I've been thinking so much about this for us as well, Joakim. We have been talking about this for a long time, like what are our goals in life? How can we achieve it? And it is a lot about creating our own path, doing what is right for us, making us happy, doing what makes sense to us, like what gives us purpose, what are we happy, what makes us happy, what keeps us motivated. Like doing the right thing is so important that for us it's very important to focus about that and not let the fear of downfall stop us, because we need to go and we need to trust the process, we need to trust ourselves, and that's how it is. And I've been thinking a lot about that in my career. So I had many training fights, like probably 5 training fights before I started going amateur. And then I lost my first 4 MMA fights amateur. And I started adapting this mentality, like identity, that I can't win. And this fear got the best of me. And when I was able to kind of flip that and really believe that I could make it, and then I won. And then I started making it my identity, and I won again and again. And it is extremely powerful what he says there about the mental rehearsal, practicing your mental training, practicing it and connecting it with your emotions and your identity, and only focusing about that positive things. And I've had people step into my life and telling me to step down, to not do what I'm doing, and having doubts. And to me, sometimes hearing something that I don't agree with just makes my fire stronger, because I know what is right for me and I know my purpose. So it is important to just trust yourself and then work as hard as you can and do everything that you can, because you owe it to yourself.
Absolutely. A lot of great advice here. Great thinking. So another one, Corey Sanhagen, yeah, a great fighter. He fight in the bantamweight weight. Was on the Joe Rogan Experience. That's Joe Rogan's podcast, the best and biggest podcast in the world. Great guy, amazing cool guy, Joe Rogan. Funny also. It was when he won against Marlon Vera last spring, and Joe Rogan called it one of the most technical and finest performance in that weight class. Sandhagen talks about the space he was in before the fight, where he almost feel like an out-of-body experience, ignore the torch and distraction, like he were watching the fight happening, telling himself, throwing this combination and giving input. How he was able to switch his mentality from putting all the pressure on himself to start enjoying it more. When he was able to enjoy it more, he feels so much more free, and that was how he was able to get his space where he was extremely calm and focused at. Him have a very tough time because all of the pressure, but him just switch it, yeah, and make it more funny, and then it not became so much pressure, and then it actually get a much better result because he enjoy it much more. So that's a great way to do it.
Definitely. And that is so powerful to hear, how he stops and asks himself, why can't I enjoy? What is up with this? And what do I need to change? And then he changes it. And he starts enjoying the process more. He feels the purpose and is able to get down to this calm version of himself where he actually sees himself in third person. That tells a lot about how calm he was to be able to see himself in an out of body experience, giving himself pointers and having full control of his mind.
Conor McGregor used to say, at the end of the day, you got to feel one way, so why don't feel unbeatable? Why not feel untouchable? How do you control your own mind? What do you fuel it with through the day? What do you tell yourself about your performance when you are visualizing in beforehand and after you have finished? And I would like to end this episode with a quote. Instead of spending time getting in the mood to work, just start working. Confront the work. People think they need perfect conditioning to start, when in reality, starting is the perfect condition. Today's episode was recorded October 25, 2024. In the next episode, we will talk about leadership and how you can be a leader of a group or in your life. If you would like to support this podcast with a small donation so we can keep growing this show and make this podcast better for you guys, we have some donation link on our homepage, the 101%podcast.com. The percent sign you have to write with letters. You can donate with PayPal, debit and credit card. We also have Vips for the Norwegian, Swedish, Denmark and Finland. And we also take crypto donation. We appreciate all donation. Thank you so much for supporting this podcast. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram on this podcast account, the 101% podcast. If you like this episode, make sure to share this podcast episode with a friend and review the show on Apple Podcast. Thank you to all the audience for listening. We appreciate you all a lot. Hope that you will come back and listen to our next episode. Until next time, take care and give it your best.